What if the biggest financial mistake of your life wasn't something dramatic? Not a failed business. Not a bad investment. Not even losing money. What if it was something so small, so normal, that you didn't even notice it happening? Every single month. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is making a decision that will quietly determine whether they retire wealthy, or spend the rest of their life struggling. And the dangerous part? They think they're doing just fine. Before we go any further, subscribe to Growth Money Mastery. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about money, we expose the decisions that silently destroy it. This is not a story about one person. This is a pattern. A system. A cycle that traps millions of people, including people who look successful on the outside. Nice clothes. Good phone. Steady income. But behind the scenes? No savings. No investments. No plan. And one unexpected expense away from collapse. Let's call him Daniel. Mid-20s. Decent job. Nothing extraordinary, but stable. Every month, his salary comes in. Every month, it goes out. Rent. Food. Transport. A few nights out. Some online shopping. Subscriptions he barely remembers signing up for. By the end of the month, his account is almost empty. But Daniel isn't worried. Because nothing has gone wrong. Yet. This is how it begins. Not with a crisis. But with comfort. A false sense of control. Because when nothing is breaking, you assume everything is working. Months turn into years. Daniel gets a raise. Life improves, slightly. But something else happens too. His spending rises with his income. Better phone. Better clothes. More outings. Same cycle. Earn. Spend. Repeat. No wealth. No growth. Just movement, without progress. And then, the first crack appears. It's small. A car repair. An unexpected bill. Nothing major. Just $800. But Daniel doesn't have it. He hesitates. Checks his account again. Hopes something changed. It didn't. So he borrows. Tells himself it's temporary. He'll fix it next month. But next month, nothing changes. The cycle continues. Only now, it's heavier. Debt added to the routine. Pressure added to the silence. This is where most people get stuck. Not because they're lazy. Not because they're stupid. But because they never realized the system was broken in the first place. Now pause for a second. If you're still watching, comment, "I'm still here." Because what happens next is where everything changes. Daniel meets someone at work. An older colleague. Quiet. Observant. Not flashy. But calm in a way that doesn't make sense. One day, during lunch, the colleague says something simple. "Do you know why most people stay broke?" Daniel shrugs. The answer comes. They never learn to keep even a small part of what they earn. It sounds too simple. Almost insulting. Daniel thinks, that can't be it. But the colleague continues. Start with $100 a month. Daniel laughs. $100? That won't change anything. And this right here is the turning point. Not a dramatic moment. Not a life crisis. Just an idea. One that most people ignore. But Daniel doesn't. Not because he fully believes it. But because something inside him is tired of the cycle. So he tries. First month, he saves $100. It feels uncomfortable. Like something is missing. He notices the small sacrifices. Fewer takeouts. Less impulse spending. Nothing extreme. Just awareness. Second month, he does it again. Still uncomfortable. But easier. Third month, something shifts. For the first time, Daniel is paying attention. Not just to what he earns, but to what he keeps. This is where the real transformation begins. Not in the bank account, but in the mind. Daniel starts noticing things he never saw before. Subscriptions he doesn't use. Overpriced bills. Spending habits that make no sense. He cancels a few things. Negotiates a bill. Suddenly, saving $100 isn't hard anymore. It's automatic. Then comes the next step. He doesn't just save it. He invests it. At first, nothing happens. The numbers barely move. It feels slow. Almost pointless. This is where most people quit. Because they expect excitement. They expect fast results. They expect something visible. But real wealth is invisible at the beginning. Months pass. Then a year. Daniel checks his account. It's higher than he expected. Not life-changing, but real. And something dangerous happens. Dangerous, in a good way. He gets curious. What if he keeps going? Years pass. Now the numbers start to move differently. Not just from what he adds, but from what the money is doing on its own. This is where most people finally understand. Too late. Because now, Daniel's money is working. Even when he's not. Even when he sleeps. Even when he does nothing. This is the part no one talks about enough. The moment money stops being something you chase, and starts becoming something that grows. Meanwhile, the people around him, still in the cycle. Better income. Bigger expenses. Same financial position. They look successful. But they're stuck. Daniel doesn't look rich. But he's building something real. Fast forward. Years later. The gap becomes impossible to ignore. His investments begin generating income. Not small amounts. Real money. At this point, Daniel faces a realization that changes everything. He didn't become wealthy because he made more money. He became wealthy because he kept some of it. Consistently. Relentlessly. Patiently. And here's the truth most people never face. It was never about the $100. It was about the decision. The discipline. The refusal to stay in the cycle. Because that same $100, given time, did something almost unbelievable. It multiplied. Again and again. Until the majority of his wealth didn't come from his job, but from his money working for him. Now imagine the opposite scenario. Same person. Same income. Same opportunities. But one difference. He never starts. No saving. No investing. Just living. Spending. Repeating. Years later. Nothing changes. Except age. And regret. This is the hidden truth. Not everyone loses money. But many people lose time. And time is the one thing you can never invest later. Because every month you delay is growth you can never recover. And that's why this story matters. Because it's not about Daniel. It's about you. Right now. You are at the beginning of your own version of this story. You are making decisions that feel small. Almost irrelevant. But they are not small. They are shaping your future. quietly, daily. The difference between financial freedom and financial stress is often just a series of small decisions made consistently over time. No drama, no headlines, no overnight success, just discipline. So the question is simple. Not easy, but simple. Will you continue the cycle? Or will you break it? Because one day, you will look back and realize it was never about how much you earned. It was about what you did with what you had. If this opened your eyes, like this video, comment your biggest takeaway, and most importantly, subscribe to Growth Money Mastery. Because the next decision you make with your money might be the one that changes everything.